Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and welcome to Game 1 in a Best of 5 series being played between drewbie, who's the red Terran down here in the bottom right corner of Crevasse, which you may have seen on the GSL or the TSL or the NASL. Drewbie's opponent today is going to be EG Machine, one of the best Zerg players in all of North America. Both of these guys were seeded in the top 16 for MLG Dallas 2011 just a few weeks ago, and both of them did pretty well. At least neither of them actually got knocked out of the top 16 by those open bracket players, so that's something at least. I think 4 players actually did drop out of the top 16, so they won't be in that pool play for MLG Columbus coming up in June. But this Best of 5 show match series was sponsored by a stream viewer who actually is a big fan of drewbie. He asked if I could help him set up some show matches every Tuesday night, so that is why we're doing this. He put up some money. We're going to have $50 prize for the winner of this Best of 5 series, so first to 3 wins, and we'll see how the games actually unfold. Right before this series, I was watching drewbie doing some practice games with his co-leader of Root Gaming, Root Cats, on Cat's stream. They played on Crevasse, they played on Shattered Temple, which is actually not a TSL map, but either way, getting some nice practice against a Zerg opponent. And drewbie actually won 2 games in a row against Cats, so we'll see if that practice actually helped him out, maybe helped him pick out a couple of different strategies that he can do against the machine. We'll just have to see. One thing about Crevasse, if you didn't know, this sort of natural expansion here is very, very easily defended. It's up on high ground. Its only entrance is this ramp attached to your main, and there's only one Vespene Geyser here. It's not rich. It's just a normal Vespene Geyser with 6 mineral patches. And yep, they're saying there are a lot of different versions of this map. I'm just using the TSL 3.1 published by Team Liquid on North America. If you want to go check that map out yourself, that's the one we're using. I don't know all the little subtle differences here. I know that the destructible debris is actually missing on one of them, but either way, this is the one we've got. So spawning pool coming up after that hatchery already got started, so machine going for an economic build. drewbie also doing the same thing. Like I said, this natural is pretty easily defended no matter what race you are, because it's on that high ground, and the only entrance is that little ramp right into your main. So I don't actually get a chance to cast many games on Crevasse, so I'm glad that we actually get to see it here. Although I did pick the map list for tonight's games and decided that Crevasse would be the first map, so you're welcome, viewers. No, just kidding, of course. But machine going to transfer some workers over here right as that hatchery plops open. It's always such a weird thing seeing it turn from this bubble into another weird thing. But there you have it. drewbie doing just 1 Rax after throwing up that expansion very, very quickly, so not sure what he's going to transition to after this. He is on a mineral-only build so far, getting that orbital command started. Soon should be getting this other one started as well. Yep, right on cue. That second orbital command starts, so he should have a great economic lead once he can start dropping 2 mules at a time. Neither player actually has any gas harvesting just yet. Machine's first extractor did just finish. Both players doing well to stay ahead of their supply caps. drewbie only making 1 Marine at a time. Nothing too crazy there. Machine, just a couple of Zerglings. Gotta wait and see what their next tech choices are going to be. drewbie throwing up 2 gas right now makes me think perhaps a 1-1-1 will be coming along. But with all this extra mineral income that he's got going on, I think it's also likely that we could be seeing up to 4 barracks being built side by side, so we'll see what he ends up doing. He is actually banking a lot of minerals right now, perhaps even planning to expand again. Either player could expand again right now. I'm not sure why they're banking so much money. Both players actually banking a ton of money and nothing really happening around the map. Machine just scattered a couple of Zerglings. Looks like he's trying to keep some watch on these Xel'Naga towers. He's got 1 planted here, 1 planted right outside of drewbie's base. Overlords in the sky, of course, to protect against any drops. Drops are pretty common on this map since you do have a lot of safe flying distance over here. You can just basically do a drop and run away and be relatively safe unless your opponent has some mutas out. Finally, we do see some tech. It's 2 factories for drewbie coming out, and metabolic boost, of course, that Zergling speed, such a valuable first upgrade to get for Zerg players coming along now. 9 drones also in production. It looks like Machine is going to have an early harvester lead, also getting a lair up now before Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest, so that's pretty interesting as well. One very popular TVZ strategy that you still see all the time is Baneling, Speedling, Mutalisk. Mutalisk. A lot of times now, though, you'll see players getting Infestors quite quickly, and we'll see what Drewbie's actually got in store for Machine. I don't really know what he's going to be doing. Tank Marine is a possibility, although he would have a couple more barracks if that were the case. Pre-Igniter Hellions being researched, of course, another great option, roasting drones and lings alike with a large Hellion count, but that lair will be done soon. Baneling Nest going up now. And drewbie dropping this third command center here inside of his base. Not sure where it's going to be going to. Perhaps right here to this third, or off to the left side where we have another little miniature expansion with a rich Vespene Geyser and only 5 mineral patches. This map has some weird expos. Normally you just see clones of the main with all 8 patches and 2 geysers. Looks like Machine has a silhouette for a hatch coming along right here, so he'll be taking his third base as well as drewbie. What do we got coming up here? Baneling Nest about to be done. The Roach Warren is hidden somewhere. Oh, nope, there it is, right next to that natural up on the high ground. Now that the lair is done, there's a silhouette of a spire, so Baneling, Speedling, Muta still likely. Roaches are going to be here to help defend against any Hellions. I'm not sure what sort of vision Machines had, but he did see at least one factory with a tech lab on it. We have Stimpack researching for drewbie's bio, which there's very little of right now. He's Machine just has his Overlord sort of all over the place, watching for drops. This one little poor Ling is going to be roasted to death as these 6 Hellions make their way towards Machine's main. Actually, they will arrive at the main before they even get to that natural. It's tucked away securely up on that high ground. No upgrades rolling for the Hellions. They do have Pre-Igniter now, and the Blue Flames are going to start attacking this hatchery. I really don't think this is the best use for the Hellions since they are so slow. The faster he gets in there and starts killing some drones and lings, the better. Machine is just going to build a few roaches here and be able to defend against this number of Hellions. Spine Crawlers could also be going down. Doesn't look like Machine is actually doing that, though. And Queens, of course, are a great defense against these Blue Flame Hellions as well. So Machine does send a few lings down there. Of course, they get roasted very quickly. Drewbie still has not lost a Hellion to these 2 roaches and Queen yet until just now, and I believe he's going to lose these 2 in the front if he doesn't just get out of there now. So not a great trade-off at all. Machine doing a good job defending against that. He actually pulled a ton of drones away from his main as well, just in preparation for that, and now he's transferring a bunch of drones over to this third base. Let's look at the Harvester count just out of curiosity. 66 drones for Machine, and while he's transferring, of course, that mineral count's going to be a little bit lower, but he is taking 2 additional gas now, so he should be caught up with drewbie here soon, and these mules making the difference for drewbie, keeping him pretty even despite being down on actual Harvester count. Spinecrawler, there was actually one here at the ramp. It looks like he did just move it down to his third, also getting this one online. I say getting online, really just getting morphed. But these Hellions are back at drewbie's third, getting repaired up. He's got a couple of siege tanks rolling out now. Let's switch back to this production tab so we don't miss anything. Siege tech coming along, 6 Marines at a time, and 3 more barracks being added on now. So he's got a ton of barracks here. 6 already up, soon going to be at 9. The first little pack of Mutalisks are out for Machine, and drewbie is ready with a handful of Marines at that third mineral line, going to be able to protect against that. Engineering bay we already knew was done, as this bio is already at 1-1. Very quick with his upgrades here, only at around the 11-minute mark, and getting his turrets up in each of his mineral lines, it looks like. Armory coming up now as well. These Mutalisks trying to do some damage. Looks like they did stop a turret, maybe killed an SCV or 2, but drewbie's still just sitting right here next to this turret with a lot of 1-1 Marines that do have stim available, so Machine probably doesn't want to invest too much into those Mutalisks. It looks like he is getting 4 more and +1 flyer attacks, but it looks like drewbie is basically all over this, and now that he has an armory completed, he could start making some Thors as well. Machine has taken a 4th base up here in the top left corner of the map. Pretty interesting move there. I don't think drewbie's going to be keeping up with that. I don't think he's going to really want to take a 4th base. He does have a very formidable looking force right here, though. And a starport coming along, probably going to be going for a reactored medevacs, if I had to guess. Still keeping up on SCV production as well. Let's look at the Harvester count once more and see Machine is at 85 Harvesters. Oh, are these Hellions going to catch these transferring drones? That is just like Christmas for these Hellions. They're going to roast 6-7 drones and a few more here. The Mutalisks do come in here to try and ward off these Hellions, but one more little blast there would catch another 6 drones. I think drewbie's going to lose these anyway, but he is actually pushing up towards Machine's third at the same time. He is going to discover this 4th base. Of course, those drones had to be transferring somewhere. Look at this line that drewbie made with his Marines. I think these Hellions are all going to be killed off by the Queen, by the Mutalisks. They do get a few more drone kills, though. But now drewbie planting himself right outside of Machine's 3rd. Machine will need to come home, get some units out on the field. If you look at army value alone right now, drewbie is slightly ahead. Supply is about even, but keep in mind that Machine still has 67 harvesters. Oh my. So drewbie actually did do quite a lot of damage there. Machine doing a bit of a counterattack and not going to do enough damage. There's still a lot of tanks and Marines back here, and now I don't know if Machine has enough units to actually deal with this attack at the front. Baneling Speed was completed at some point, crashing into those tanks, hitting a decent little ball of Marines there. The Mutalisks are going to clean up the tanks with the help of a couple of roaches, but now push number 2 is starting to arrive, and if you look at that minimap, you'll see a stream of reinforcements coming in here. drewbie looking very strong coming in here, stimming up, taking out the rest of those mutas and roaches very, very quickly. He doesn't even really need to siege right now. Of course, he should in case those Banelings start to roll in from the main, but right now just keeping that DPS really high. All these Marines are getting rather low on health from the repeated stims, but he did take out that 3rd hatchery. Machine with no units really anywhere left to speak of. GG's out of there, so drewbie is going to take game 1 here on Crevasse, and now it'll be Machine's turn to pick a map for game 2. How'd you guys like that game?